Fun fact, your temperature determines how you sense time. One of the leading theories in how you perceive time is through chemical reactions in the brain, and they have a certain rate. And the rate of these reactions is going to be determined or dependent upon their temperature. So if you have a higher body temperature, then these reactions happen quicker and you perceive time as faster. And the exact opposite for lower body temperatures. The reactions happen slower because there's less energy and you feel time as moving slower. The way that these reactions give you a sense of time is what's called the pacemaker accumulator model, and it's a widely cited framework for perception of time for psychology and neuroscience. Here's a sort of model for what this pacemaker accumulator model looks like. You see a few main parts here, but the most important ones are the pacemaker and the accumulator, but I'll try to explain everything here. So first is the pacemaker. That's the reactions that are happening in your brain that give this oscillatory tick at a pretty consistent rate. And then there's the switch. And the switch is pretty much just your brain thinking, okay, let me start measuring time. And it's not necessarily a conscious thought. It's just if a light turns on and then turns off, your brain kind of knows how long that was. When the switch is open, these ticks get counted by the accumulator and it builds up the number of ticks. And then you have what's called your working and reference memory. The working memory pretty much counts the number of ticks in the accumulator and compares it to the reference memory. And the reference memory is just kind of your brain remembering how many ticks felt like what. Did this many ticks feel like an hour or did this many ticks feel like 5 seconds? It kind of gives it a reference to what you've experienced in the past. And then there's the ratio comparator. And this pretty much just compares the ratio between that working memory and the reference memory to kind of give you a general idea or sense for how much time passed. So again, the pacemaker is dependent upon temperature, which means that if you speed it up or slow it down, you're going to get a completely different sense of time. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that fun?